begin by saying good evening, fellow classmates, faculty, family, and friends. As I look proudly among my class and those who have gathered here to help celebrate our commencement, I cannot help but laugh, knowing that everyone around me is praying that this speech is kept short, sweet, and to the point. I am not going to stand before you and reiterate 13 years of memories. Instead, I would like to highlight those that have shown the brightest right here at Ford City High School. To everyone who I have the privilege of standing before today, I would like to remind you that this may be the very last time that we come together as one, as Ford City's graduating class of 2010. To begin, I would like to read a verse from Dr. Seuss's Hooray for Diff and Duper Day. However, Diff and Duper has been changed to Ford City to fit the circumstances. We love you, Ford City School. We definitely do. There surely is no other school that's anything like you. You're gribulous, you're globulous, each day we love you more. You are the school we treasure and unceasingly adore. While we may not all feel like this, I can say with certainty that there is no other school like ours. And regardless of how much we have complained over the past 6 years, eventually we will all look back upon these times with fondness, whether it be tomorrow or at the 25-year reunion. Each day we love you more. I know that some of you are secretly laughing and asking yourself, what is she talking about? But I want you to think back to the 7th grade, to the very first day. What time did you wake up, if you even slept the night before? How long did it take you to pick out the perfect jeans or decide how to wear your hair? We were entering a whole new world. And though we were technically in junior high, we were officially part of the high school. And that in itself was the first thing we loved. We tested our locker combinations 100 times, looked for any friendly faces that could help us find our classes, and put our heads down as soon as we saw a big kid. But one of the things we loved most was the start of football season. And since we were new additions to Ford City, we wanted everyone to know that we loved our team. So out came the purple and gold, socks, glitter, wigs, and paint. It was a battle every Friday for us little 7th graders for who had the most school spirit. We spent the remainder of our first year adjusting to our new surroundings. By the time 8th grade rolled around, the only thing we wanted was to be out of the first floor hallway and to finally get a full locker. But our next love came from all the friends we made, just from stepping on their toes or dropping your books on their heads. Sorry, Steph, I know I did that a lot. We piled onto the tables at lunch so we could all stick together and carry on our conversations about superlomas, squirrels, and zebras, and to dish about which senior made eye contact with you. 9th grade was the awkward in-between year. We all felt like a part of the senior high, but we were still considered globulous junior high kids. Our new love was the fact that we were once again the oldest kids, and at the Christmas dance and spring fling, we got to stand right next to the DJ. In general business, we had the huge cookie dough sell-off, and in return, went to a Pirates game to study the business practices of vendors. Some of us could still pass for 12. Well, I wasn't one of them. But when an abandoned t-shirt was seen in a nearby puddle, they picked it up so I could have one too. That's what I call friendship. Senior high finally came into view. We were introduced to homecoming, snowball, and for a lucky few of us, even prom. We were the jokes of the school after we voted on being called the sophomore superheroes, until we destroyed at the pep rally with Brooke and Scotty's choreographed cheer. In 10th grade, our love comes through cherished memories with those classmates who later parted for the tech. People often use the term senioritis for the feeling seniors experience before the end of school. Well, I feel like junioritis is a more appropriate term. All we wanted was to be a senior. Junior year flew by in a whirl of junior bacon cheeseburgers, powder puff, fire and ice, a trip to New York City, and the first class affair. And then we were seniors. Friday night football games turned into weekend excursions. Homecoming turned into a mudslide. We broke the record of seniors winning powder puff by ending in a tie. Dairy Queen dates became a weekly occurrence. A late February snowstorm brought us 4 snow days in a row and almost cost us our June 11th graduation date. But looking back, if everything had gone smoothly, what would there be to talk about? Through and through, our class has jumped over hurdle after hurdle in high school. But that is what molded us into who we are, both individually and together. Before I finally conclude, I would like to thank my mom, dad, Steve, Angel, and all of my brothers and sisters for everything they have gone through with me and for still loving me after. I also have to thank all of my teachers who have not only encouraged me, but have also put up with me. I know I was a handful, but I cannot thank you enough for never giving up on me. In the words of Dr. Seuss, you've learned the things you need to pass that test and many more. I'm certain you'll succeed. We taught you that the earth is round, that red and white make pink, and something else that matters more. We've taught you how to think. For 6 years, we've been counting down the 1,080 school days until tonight. High school ends tonight for not just another class of seniors, but for us, Fort City's graduating class of 2010.
Story of our lives. Dear faculty, administrators, family and friends, and of course, the class of 2010, I am proud and honored to address you as the salutatorian of the Buchanan High School class of 2010. As classmates, we have spent several great years together, probably the best years of our lives. No matter where we go, who we become, or where life takes us, we are all Buchanan Wildcats, and together have written several chapters in the story of our lives. This moment here tonight, our high school graduation, is not the closing of a book, but the beginning of a new chapter in the story of our lives. In a few moments, we will be receiving our diplomas and leaving Buchanan behind. But Buchanan will not leave us behind. It will always be in us, and we will never forget the memories of our 4 years at this high school. I am sure that we all have some great stories and memories that we will someday share with our children. I will always remember my first day at high school. I remember sitting in the front row of Miss Cole's biology class, thinking to myself, I do not know what you think, but I know that these 4 years flew by. During these 3 years, or chapters, we spent together, I am sure you learned more than just information from our classes. I know that all of our teachers did an excellent job preparing us for our lives after high school, and for that, we should thank you. I would just like to personally acknowledge Miss Brandon, Mr. McGarvey, and Mr. Beatty for helping me to grow into the man I am today. However, you are looking for the best mentors, the people who have the greatest influence on helping us to become who we are today, I suggest you look into the stands at your family and friends. I am sure we could not have done it without their constant guidance and assistance. Tonight, as we flip the page and leave behind those whom we love to start a new chapter in the story of our lives, I hope that all of you possess the drive and determination to be truly successful in life. For me, success is measured not by the type of car you drive, the number of clothes in your wardrobe, or the number of presents in your Christmas tree, but rather, success is measured by the number of lives you make better. Above all, I hope that all of you can be successful financially, emotionally, and spiritually. And I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors after you leave with your diploma. As our class motto states, live the life, live the dream, no fear. I challenge you to adhere to this motto, to follow your dreams, and to be happy every day of your life. Once again, I mention my theme of the story of our life. I feel that it is a very important idea because although we cannot control the number of pages in our book, we can control what we write as our story. I would like to read you my favorite and most influential quotation, the quotation that hangs in Mr. Lady's room. 365 days in a year, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour. We all have the same amount of time. The only difference is how we choose to use it.
First of all, I would like to say congrats. So, I have to be honest with you. I really didn't know what I was saying. Nevertheless, I was really happy and I thought about that. I remember when we were all discussing the and if we honestly look back to freshman year, I'm pretty confident all of us will laugh. But for me, I tend to relate so much to this. For instance, this freshman year, we were all amazed that Justin Timberlake managed to bring Sexy back. And then he came questioning what he was doing here, and became super annoyed with James Brown singing the evening class. And Rihanna just wanted us to go in the lab. And then everyone started bringing it down to the shoulder boy and walking and dropping it. Then, just last year, we learned how to get low thanks to Phil Ryder, and felt bad for Taylor Swift and her teardrops in her guitar. Finally, this year was the comeback of Britney Spears, not Ball. And the video of Lady Gaga, and of course, we were partying and we were saying things. Nevertheless, to represent this year, I found another song that one of my best friends actually introduced me. It's called Crushed and Created. It goes, we are crushed and created. We are melted and made. We are broken and built up in the very same way. What I thought I could handle, what I thought I could take, what I thought would destroy me, makes me stronger and safe. We have all been crushed and created together. We have been melted and made with everything that we have thought or doubted for even a second that we cannot handle throughout our journey together. But it makes us stronger. We learned together, and we became brilliant together. And now it's time to go our own paths and lead different lives. But know in the end, we will always be together through the bond of our hearts. This has been an amazing journey for all of us. We have been through so much, with laughter and with some tears, but we finally made it.
just one chapter of our lives with Emily, another chapter begins. We now can start our own journey and choose a path that we love. I know and I'm confident that in whatever we all decide to do, we will remain true to ourselves and flourish in our passion. We now must venture out into the world as our own person and dare to take that opportunity of success. And now, although this song is a little cliche, it truly serves us the best. As we go on, we remember all the times we have had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends.
On behalf of the class of 2010, I would like to welcome family, friends, teachers, staff, and administrators to tonight's commencement activities. I am honored to be standing in front of you tonight celebrating graduation and a new beginning for those sitting behind me. Before I get any further, I would like to start by giving thanks to our parents and teachers. Parents, I'm sure you are all feeling a rush of emotions right now. For most, it probably falls somewhere in between. I can't believe my little baby is graduating. I'm so proud. And wow, thank God that's over. I can say with almost complete certainty that this journey has not always been easy or fun. However, with your love and support, we are able to be standing here today. This is something many of us may not say often enough, but thank you. Thank you for being there through our first dates and broken hearts, our good grades and our failed tests, being our worst enemies and our best friends. Thank you for all the rides to and from just about everywhere. On a personal note, I would like to thank my mother for being the biggest inspiration and support in my life. I love you, Mom. Thank you for loving us and being proud of us as we sit on the stage tonight. Thank you, parents. Teachers and staff, I hope that you remember our class with high remarks. Someone suggested to me that the theme of my speech be edited and explained it as, remember the good things and cut out the bad. I'm not making any suggestions, but some of you might need to apply this concept. On a more serious note though, I'm sure we didn't show you enough appreciation throughout the years. Appreciation that you all deserve. You have played a huge role in shaping our future. As teachers, you are not only educators, but role models, guidance counselors, and friends. On behalf of the class of 2010, we appreciate all you have done for us. Thank you. Now I will begin the part of my speech that is not only for the graduates, but also for the audience to remember, enjoy, and inspire. Around 18 years ago, the people sitting behind me entered the world confused, scared, and quizzical. We had no idea what life was all about or why we were here. Eventually, we began to grow. We matured into energetic young 3-year-olds whose best friends were mom and dad, and our main concern was nap time. Preschool and kindergarten were a blur as we began to learn. Elementary is probably some of the best time spent in school. Recess and candy, story time, and parachutes. Everything was controlled by someone else, from line leaders to board watchers. In all seriousness though, when we recently began reminiscing, many of our best memories did come from this time in our lives. Stories of playing house, building forts, and pretending to be superheroes. One memory I owe a friend who can't be here tonight is protesting lost recess, all for returning kickball. Tonight, I encourage you all to try to think of some of your favorite memories and see how much you actually do remember. But time to move on. In junior high, we got to question everything we knew. All of a sudden, boys and girls liked each other. We had to switch classes, and it was like our parents turned into these unintelligent humans dead set on destroying our social lives. Then came high school. We began to push for AP classes and good grades. Friendships turned into relationships, and many of us needed our parents again. We were told we actually had to start preparing for the future. In 9th grade, most of us thought it was ridiculous to start looking at careers. And up until a couple months ago, most of us still felt this way. Somehow though, we made it here. Through all the difficulties of high school, both academic and social. Nevertheless, with our class, we were able to make some great memories along the way. Proms, volleyball days, Cedar Point, Halloween carnivals, and the Carnegie Science Center provided some big opportunities. Others, such as the second Christmas vacation, hanging out in the library, and girls volleyball and basketball playoffs brought even more. Overall, this year brought many changes for us. In the beginning of the year, Western Open was joined by Alderton for the first and possibly last time. For some, it was not an ideal situation, leaving a beloved high school to join a rival. However, we learned to respect and embrace the situation at hand. We formed valuable friendships and bonds and grew as a class. I wouldn't change a thing about the people I sit up here with, and I hope everyone can see the obstacles we have overcome to be the united class sitting in front of you today. I tried to find one of those quotes that just perfectly summed up my thoughts on the past, but all of the ones I found said to forget the past, move on, and let go. And that's not what I'm trying to say at all. We need to embrace our past. We have learned too many lessons about life throughout high school to simply forget. Remember all the good memories and the valuable friendships. This journey has made us who we are. It has brought us here to this very moment. Without the past, how can we appreciate where we are in the present? Okay, so all of that led up to where we are now, the present. Well, what could be better? We're sitting up on the stage, ready to graduate. But this is a confusing time for us as well as exciting. Does graduation mean that we are officially adults? Some people refer to hearing a bell that announces adulthood. Gary North said in one of his speeches, "Maybe you're wondering when the bell will go off that announces, adult here, the world is now free to kick the daylights out of me." Is graduation our bell? Maybe for some it is. Maybe for some of us it came a long time ago, or is still on its way. Regardless, graduating is a huge change for us. If not being adults, it at least means stepping into the adult world. It means realizing that life is going to pass us by if we don't step up and take opportunities that are presented to us. It means that no longer do we have someone controlling our choices. We are in charge. I looked up the dictionary definition of graduation. It means successfully completing a program of study or an academic exercise in which diplomas are received. If it were that easy, I don't think a lot of us would feel the way we do sitting up here tonight. I believe that graduation means something different to each and every one of us sitting on stage today. And I hope that you all take the time to figure out exactly what it means in your life. The past few weeks have been a huge rush of excitement and joy, and many of us haven't even had time to stop and actually enjoy the feeling of graduating. 20 years from now, no one will remember what I said, but you will remember the feeling that you had while walking across the stage and receiving your diploma. I encourage you all to take a moment to embrace this time in your life. We are done with high school. 12 long years is finally coming to a close. Take a moment to remember some of the best memories, the friendships, and the experiences you had. This time will be with you for the rest of your life. Yes, it's true that it won't matter if we were jocks, nerds, artists, and so on, and thank God for that. But it will play some role in who we become. I hope that you can say that these are the best years of your life. But I also hope in 4 years when you're in college or the Army or working a job, that you can say that those are the best years of your life. From there, I hope when you start your own families, you can say that those are the best years of your life. So up to this point, I've given a pretty typical graduation speech, but I wanted to add something that would be personal. I decided to ask friends and family, and you would not believe some of the suggestions that I got. Meow, some of my favorites were trying to see how many times I could say meow. Meow, that one was ridiculous, but I'll stop at 4 meow. The biggest online suggestion I found was to not ever, ever reference that Green Day song, you know, the one we just sang as our class song. And another popular suggestion would have sounded very similar to a Pens game commentator. In reference to that one, go Pens. In the end, though, I decided to go with something I truly believed in. It all led me to the final part of my speech, the future. I wanted to use this time to not only encourage the graduates, but the rest of you sitting in the audience. I am by any means not going to stand up here and give advice. I'm in the same position as the rest of the class, excited and ready to fly off the stage. But I am going to share my interpretations and read a quote by Wendy Wasserstein that has been on my mind since I first read it. She said, "Don't live down to expectations. Go out there and do something remarkable." At first I said to myself, live down to expectations. Well, that doesn't sound right. But then it struck me. Everyone tells us to aim for success and happiness, which, don't get me wrong, is great. But we are capable of so much more. Those graduating tonight are the future. No longer are we the generation to come. Now it is our time. I can't begin to count the number of times I've heard how our country is in trouble, our economy is headed downward, and our generation is too lazy. I'm sorry if anyone here tonight feels that way, because I beg to differ with you. We, the graduating class of 2010, have the power and the capabilities to change the world. I have seen what capabilities the people sitting here possess. The amount of intelligence, creativity, and determination on this stage alone has the potential to create drastic change. We are future doctors, soldiers, lawyers, teachers, artists, journalists, mechanics, and craftsmen. We may become members of the Senate, the House, and the presidential cabinet. We are future mothers and fathers teaching yet another young generation. Change is something that we are all capable of achieving as long as we use our abilities. I encourage us all, as the Western Open class of 2010, to not live down to expectations, but to instead live up to your full potential. Achieve greatness. Be the change. Be extraordinary. The future is ours. All we have to do is take it. To conclude, I would like to thank you all for attending commencement tonight. Again, I am honored to speak on behalf of the class. To the graduates, I hope that you always remember. I hope that you embrace this moment and enjoy graduation. And I hope that you don't live down to expectations. Congratulations to the class of 2010. We finally made it.